What's up, guys? Time Jim here. How you guys doing? All right, so let me just say first off, I've tried to record this video many times over. I tried to make it look, really professional. I had a really cool, title thing going on, and it was cool. It was cool. The bad part about it was that I didn't like the way the voiceover worked. The way I did the voiceover, it didn't sound genuine enough. So hence, I was just gonna say, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot from the hip. Have it come from the heart. Say what I feel about this subject and just leave it at that. So I had something really awesome planned for this topic, but you know, it is what it is. I can't help who I am. That's the way things go. So anyway, I watched The Dark Knight recently, and it made me think about the Joker, basically, and what's been transpiring in the DC universe as of late. Now we know that there are three Jokers, right? There's after when Rebirth happened, it was found out that there were three Jokers, and that Batman in Mobius's chair, that it was that he found out that there were three Jokers, and he couldn't find out who they were. Well, in the midst of watching The Dark Knight, I was reminded of one of the probably one of the best scenes in the movie. Is when the Joker confronts Two-Face, and he says, "I'm an engine of chaos," and it got me thinking, like, there's something there. There's something more there than meets the eye. Transformers. Yeah. I think there's a hidden meaning there that not a lot of us has sort of picked up on. What I mean by that is, we were trying to. DC has been sort of insinuating that there's three Jokers, and we're trying to find out who the three Jokers are. And many people think that one of them is the comedian, and has to deal with the Watchmen. That's all fine and dandy. That's all cool. But I think what we've been missing here, just something that we're missing here, is that we've been so focused on who the Joker is, and I think this is sort of a misdirection on what DC's trying to show us here. Is that I don't think the question we should be asking is who is the Joker. I think we should be asking the question, what is the Joker? Because, quite frankly, I don't think he's even human. Like, I don't think he's even human. Let me explain. So, like I said, I've watched The Dark Knight, and in The Dark Knight, I came to the realization that hey, he's an agent in chaos, right? That famous line. Well, I begin to think, okay, he's an agent of chaos. So what? But then I began to think, okay, where does the Joker come from? Like, where does he come from? And I thought to myself, well, there's different origin stories to the Joker. Okay, there's different ones where he's dropped in acid. There's different, even in the movie, he sort of prides himself on telling these different origin stories about himself, and that's very chaotic. He's telling these different things, these different stories to different people. Very chaotic, and like you said, he's an engine of chaos. Okay, there's one clue right there. The second clue to me that sort of fit this thing all together was the fact, okay, he doesn't have an origin story, but does he really have a place in the universe? And I think to myself, yeah, he does. He has a place. Arkham, right? Arkham's basically his home. That's where he always ends up at the end of the day. He always ends up in Arkham, either after he comes back from the dead, quote unquote. He's always in prison there. But I begin to think, okay, Arkham Asylum, that's not an original thing. That actually came from H.P. Lovecraft's universe, the Cthulhu mythos. And the pieces start to fit together. Like, wait a minute, Joker says he's an agent of chaos. He sort of prides himself on that. Like, he sort of prides himself on driving people mad. Like, he uses the Joker venom. He in The Dark Knight, in The Killing Joke. I'm sorry. In The Killing Joke, his whole prime mission there in that book was to drive Gordon crazy. He was driven to say that anybody can turn out like me off of one bad day. And this is sort of the driving point to what H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos is that the more you know something about in that universe, the more it drives you crazy. And I think this is what the Joker is in the essence of. Like, he is like, he's sort of the embodiment of the H.P. Lovecraft universe. He's chaos. Like, there's it's just simple as that. Like, the more you know about him, the more it sort of drives you crazy, because even when Batman, when he found out that there were 3 Jokers, it's like that's impossible. That can't be. Like, he was trying to wrap his head around it, but it didn't make any sense, and that's sort of what brought me to this. Now, in the Cthulhu mythos, in the H.P. Lovecraft mythos, there was 3 possibilities that a character could happen at the end of the story. 1, they were driven insane. So that's one thing that sort of hinders right here, because for all intents and purposes, we all believe Joker's insane. 2, they get incarcerated. Well, where does Joker end up almost at every time? He ends up at Arkham, incarcerated. 3, they end up dead. So, and we've seen that Joker has quote unquote died many times. So all 3 of those things happens to main characters in the H.P. Lovecraft universe. All 3 of these things happen to Joker or people around Joker in the DC universe. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that Joker is much more an H.P. Lovecraft creation than than just a regular being. And the reason why I think that is Arkham Asylum. That's just like the biggest point there. I mean, it's part of one universe and part of another universe. Like, it's basically simultaneously in 2 different universes. Much like how people in the Cthulhu mythos, how Cthulhu says he's in multiple universes at multiple times. And Joker's pretty much the same way. And the Arkham Asylum is pretty much the same way. Like, his madness sort of embodies sort of the DC universe, or is encapsulated in one part of the universe. We find out some evidence of this in Scott Snyder's run, where Scott Snyder sort of points to it that Joker, he's been around for many ages. He's been around for years. He's sort of this boogeyman that has been around Gotham for many years, and we've never really noticed until now. I think this is probably the best interpretation of Joker, because he, like I said, he sort of embodies, chaos. And another thing is that in the Lovecraft mythos, there are several things that try to imitate humans. They're sort of observing, but they also try to imitate humans. And I think Joker's one of those things that, he tries to be like us, because he's like tries to blend in, tries to be curious, and wants to know more about us. But at the same time, he's an imperfection, because just look at him. He has green hair. He has real pale white skin. He has this big drawn off smile that happens all the time, and and another thing, that you can't really relate to him. Like, he, as much as these origin stories that he had a wife that he was trying to support, and everything turned around when he went to a vat of chemicals, or in another origin story where he, like in the movies, he had an abusive father, or an abusive wife, or which is whatever those things are. He tries to relate to you, but at the same time, they're kind of twisted. And that just sort of embodies what he is. He's sort of this twisted version of humanity in the H.P. Lovecraft universe. Like, that's sort of the catch there. Like, it's sort of a twisted part of reality. Like, it's very twisted and very like unreal. You know, you can't really wrap your head around it, and that's, to me, at least, that's what the Joker is. That's what the question we should be asking. What is the Joker? And then the point I'm making is that, you know, when it all comes to the end of the day, I think DC is going to reveal that because we have the reason why we have 3 Jokers is because that sort of chaos exploded a bit, and there's these different versions because, you know, that chaos sort of manifests itself over and over and over again, and we couldn't figure it out, or Batman couldn't figure it out on the chair, because even logically speaking, that even the chair could not conceive that, because it was so illogical that even that couldn't wrap its head or logic around it. So that's just my thoughts, my theory on it. You know, sorry this video took so long to make, but I thought you guys would be interested to know what I feel about the subject. Thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. You know, I took my time on thinking about these things, and yeah, I've just finished Secret Empire. I'm going to do a video on that pretty soon about my thoughts on it. What I thought, you know, the event as a whole, what I think it means to the Marvel Universe as a whole. And yeah, guys, I will catch you guys later. Hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever. See you guys later. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care.